Hello friends, in this tutorial we are going to implement the authentication in GraphQL. So let's get started. For this authentication we will use the JSON web token package of npm, which is in general called the JWT. And the second package we are going to use is the argon2 for password hashing, because we are not going to store the plain password in db. Instead we are going to store the encrypted password in db. So we will go and install these two packages. The first one is npm jwt and the second one is npm argon2. For argon2 we are going to install npm install argon2, and the second package we are going to install is the JSON web token. So while these packages are installing, we are going we can read this documentation here. For argon2 we just need these two functions. We are going to import the argon2, and the first function we are going to need is the hash function, and the second one is we are going to need is the verify function. So first start our GraphQL server. Okay, as you can see that our server has been running now. So okay, now go to the schema and create the mutation for sign up and the resolver for sign up. So first we are I am going to create the resolver query mutation for sign up. This mutation needs three things. The first thing is the name, and the second thing is email, and the third thing is password. Email, which is of type string, and the password, which is also a type of string. And what it will return? It will return the user. Okay, we need to modify our model, user model. Okay, this is very simple. We are going to implement something like validation for our model. Okay, name is of type string, and it will be optional. Email will be of type string, and it will be required, and we will store the email in lowercase in db, and same goes for password, but we will remove this lowercase condition here, and we will also store the name in lowercase. Okay, and email must be unique. This is the mongoose package ORM for mongodb. If you do not know how to connect the mongodb with GraphQL, you can follow my previous tutorial on mongodb connection with GraphQL. So here I am going to change something. It is not age, it is the email, and it is of type string, not int. Okay. Well, I am going to remove the hello query and also the users query. I think okay, Now I am going to create the resolver for this sign up mutation. Sign up. I am going to get these. Okay, these three things are required, mandatory. So we will put the exclamation marks here because these three things are required here. Okay, we will get these three things from args, email and password. Okay, args.args. Okay, if if we are considering that the newly created user already exists in our DB, so in this case we will throw an error that the email has already been taken. Okay, so find one email. We will search with the help of email, and if we get some user, then we will throw the error that email already exists. And if it does not exist, then we will create the user. Simple. Name, email, and we are not going to store the plain password in DB, so we are going to store the hash of our password in DB. So first we will take the hash for. We are going to import here const here argon2 and we will use this argon2 package to generate the password. Argon2 dot hash argon2 dot hash and put the password here, and it will return us the hash password, and we will store this password in DB. And finally I am going to return this newly created user. This is simple. This is very simple. And because we are using await here, so we need to create this function as asynchronous function. So okay, cannot find module argon2, and because we have installed the argon2 and it is telling us that it cannot find the module argon2, so I am again going to install the argon2 package. Okay, now it has been added successfully. So let's see that now the error has been gone. So let's check in the sign up mutation. Sign up, because three things are required, so that is why it is showing us that these mandatory field. So I am going to get, because it will return the user, and user is of type user contain what it contains: ID, name and email. We are going to get all three things, name and email. So here I am going to put B here, and let's run press Ctrl and enter same time. Then as we can see that the user has been created successfully, and it has returned us the newly created user. If we press again the Ctrl enter, then it will throw an error that email has already been exist. As you can see that we have successfully implemented the sign up in GraphQL, and we are going to implement the login mutation. And what it will need the email and the second param it need is the password, and these two things are required here also. And when we successfully log in our user, then what we need to return here is first thing we need to return here is the login user, means auth user, and the second thing we need to return in login is the token. So we will create another type which is of auth payload. First thing it will return the user, and the second thing it will return the token which is of type string. So okay, and it will return the auth payload. Okay. It will return the auth payload, and now I am going to create the login resolver for login mutation. Okay, because in this we will query the DB, so I am initially putting the async keyword here, because I know that somewhere in the login we are going to query our DB. So parent asks context info. Okay, in login we will get two things, name and email and password. So we will check that if host user equals to await, we will query the user dot find one by email, by given email. If user does not exist, then we will throw an error that email is not valid. If now if the email is valid, then we will validate the password here, await argon2, the second method of argon which I have mentioned earlier, argon dot verify. First thing it need the hashed password which we have stored in our DB. It needs the hashed password, and the second thing it need is the plain password which user has given in the login mutation. If the password is valid, then this function will return us the boolean, true or false, boolean promise, and we have inserted the await here, so we get the promise resolve, true or false. If this return us false, then we are going to throw an error that password is incorrect. If everything is correct, email is valid and the password is valid, then we are going to simply create the JSON web token and return it with the auth user. So how we can create the JSON web token? We are going to use this package, JWT package. We are going to need this function here. This function here expires in 1 hour. Okay. First I am going to require this package, const JWT equals to require JSON web token, and now I am going to create the token with the help of JWT, const token equals to JWT dot sign first thing it need the payload to be encrypted in the token. So we get the information about the user for which the token is generated. So it contains the data, and in data we are going to pass the user id, and the second thing we are going to pass here is the email, user email. In the ECMAScript 6 key value, if key and value name is same, then we just need to put only one thing. It will assume the same thing for both key and value. It is the ECMAScript feature, so we do not need to mention like this. The short form, we will put the short form here because the key value pair is same here. Okay. Now the second thing it needs is the secret. So I am going to put the secret, my super secret. In the next tutorial I am going to show you how you can put these things in the env.env file and access it from all over the project. But here I am going to hardcode these things. And the third thing it is going to need is the expiry. The token will expire after 1 hour. Okay, so once the token is generated successfully, I am going to return these two things. First thing is the user, and the second thing is the token. On successful login, if the email is valid, if the password is valid, then I am going to create the token and return the user with the token. User is what which we have fetched earlier. Okay, now let's run this mutation. Okay, what it will return us two things. User contains id, name and email, which we have saw earlier. And the second thing it will return us is the token. Okay. Okay, what is the error here? Okay, we will try once more. So as we can see that the error is same, so I am going to put the try catch here. Console.log error. Okay, and put this block, complete block in the try. So when we hit again, then it will not throw us error, but instead we have put the catch the error by ourselves and console log out it, and we can see that it is showing us the same error, that the non-empty string in argon2. Okay, what we are putting here is argon2 verify. We are putting the hashed password field. It is not present here. It is showing us the suggestion because this keyword has been used above somewhere here. We know that in DB we have used this field password, so I am going to put this password here instead of hash password, then it will not throw us error, I think. Okay, now it is working fine. As you can see that the token has been generated successfully, and we have successfully implemented the authentication. In sign up mutation, we will also implement the try catch, so that it does not do not throw us the error. Instead it return us the null in any case of error, and it log out the error. In further implementation we will see how we can implement the general try catch method for our application completely, but for the time being I am going to implement the try catch for every mutation, or everywhere where we are querying the database, or something promise kind of things. Okay, now this tutorial has been completed, that we have successfully implemented the login and sign up. In the next tutorial I am going to implement the authorization. You can see how with the help of this token we can hit other APIs, secure APIs, protected APIs. But in the next tutorial we will see the complete authorization process. Thank you.